Good day. This is Art Gamino. I am the Remote Operation Center Manager for Optimum Networking, Inc. Today we're going to talk a little bit about user security awareness and some best practices as well as some general guidelines. First off, I'd like to talk a little bit about the difference between security and safety. Okay. Security is our actions to protect our data as well as our computer equipment, such as you would protect your home. You want to make sure it's protected. And safety component of it is our behavior. How do we behave? How do we manage our email? How do we surf the internet? It's essentially our behavior that protects the technology that we use as well. So I'm going to talk about a couple different components. We'll talk about virus, phishing, and also we're going to talk about what pharming is. I think those are three components to know about when we talk about general security awareness for the end user. Okay, we'll go ahead and begin, and we'll talk about viruses first. So a virus or worm, they come in many different forms. And basically a virus attaches itself to a program, a file, or a disk. And it can run different code. It can run different... It can basically execute whatever the program or the worm or virus was designed to execute, whether it's crashing your hard drive, whether it's pulling information, whether it's preventing from other files and data to work, whether it's completely bringing down your entire system. It's important to be aware of viruses and worms because the majority of them can be prevented. They can be prevented through through knowing emails, right? If you receive an email from an unknown sender, or the attachment looks a little, the name to that attachment, if it looks a little off to you, you got to be careful. And this is what I would reach out to either the sender, make sure you know the sender themselves, and validate the integrity of that attachment, or work with your IT company so we can go ahead and go in there and scan the files. In case that particular attachment did have a virus or worm attached, we can scan that and prevent that from executing on the network. And now we'll go ahead and talk about a worm. Worm is a type of virus or similar to a virus, and it's an independent program that replicates itself on the network. It can begin by one computer, it can send itself to other computers, and therefore either replicating or continuing to send copies of itself, computers to from computer to computer across the network. These can cause many different forms of just overall general health of the system, where it brings it down to a complete crawl, and it can cause your data to be compromised as well. So now we're going to talk about phishing. Phishing is essentially fake email. That's what it comes down to. And these are emails that can be received from many different types of companies, whether it be your bank, whether it be e-commerce companies, internet merchants. There's different sorts of they've programmed many different companies to use these phishing emails, and it's essentially fake. They just make it appear as that merchant or as that bank. And these emails will generally ask for sensitive information, or private information rather, such as your social security information, your login and password to that site, your first name, last name, your date of birth. This information should not be solicited from email and can be prevented by verifying with your merchant or whomever that sender is. If it's your bank, calling your bank, saying, hey, I received the email asking for this information, is this valid? Those are important steps to take in this information, because generally they should not be asking for this information via email. And we just talked about what phishing is in general. And the next segment is talking about what pharming is, which pharming is essentially fake web pages. And they're connected. So you receive an email through a phishing scam, and when you click on that link takes you then to the fake web page, which ties into what pharming is. So if you received an email from your bank saying, hey, you got to click here to update your information, that link generally takes you to a fake domain, or not a domain associated with that bank, and it's asking you for this information. And they have these sophisticated forms that make it look very, they make it look not only sophisticated, but they make it look legitimate. And you start inputting this information, but what you're essentially doing is you're providing that information to not your bank or not your e-commerce or your online merchant. These are malicious individuals who are after gathering this information to, they may have the intent to to steal identity or log into your bank and potentially do some transactions that are not that you may not be aware of, things of that nature. So the phishing email leads to a fake website where generally people have inputted information, and all of this is not. It was not legitimate. This was not from e-commerce or banks. Again, my name is Art Gamino. I'm the Remote Operation Center Manager at Optimum Networking Inc. And thank you for your time.